Iranian here with a message for everyone in Israel and the IDF. Thank you for not forgetting about the historic friendship that we Iranians and Israelis have had for thousands of years, going back to Cyrus the Great. Thank you for helping to liberate us. Thank you. Thank you for staying in your bomb shelters and risking your lives and safety. We can't wait to welcome you back to Iran with open arms. And together we will dance again in the streets of Tehran. Thank you so much. Shabbat Shalom and Am Yisrael Chai.
Donald Trump just gave Democrats a massive gift as he made the dumbest threat in presidential history. Now, as you know, Donald Trump has been pushing hard for the SAVE Act lately. This is the bill that would require voter ID, proof of citizenship, and ban mail-in voting, except for some exceptions. Well, Donald Trump is taking that to the next level, as he took to Truth Social to threaten this. I, as president, will not sign another bill until this is passed. And not the watered-down version. Go for the gold. Must show voter ID, proof of citizenship, no mail-in ballots, no men and women's sports, no mutilization. Do not fail. Yet Donald Trump is telling Democrats, hey, I am going to take all the blame for everything being stalled. If he takes this move, his DHS funding is out the window, his housing bill, his stupid health care bill, all gone and all placed on his shoulders. And Democrats can just go out and say, hey, look, it's not us that's stonewalling everything. It's this guy because he told us he won't sign it anyway. This is a massive gift for Democrats and absolutely the dumbest threat ever made. Pete Hegseth just contradicted Donald Trump right to his face over the elementary school in Iran, and Trump was not happy. Now, as you know, on the first night of strikes in Iran, an elementary school was hit. There were some questions on whether or not it was a U.S. strike or a failed missile from Iran. Well, after investigations, it appears it is indeed a U.S. strike that caused this. And both Trump and Hegseth were asked about it, and this happened. Yeah, Trump was livid. The look on his face when Hegseth stepped in and said, well, we're still investigating. You could see his blood was boiling. And he had to go back and say, no, it was Iran. And you can bet Hegseth is not going to be talking again for some time. Stick to the lethality and our troops and warriors and all that nonsense. But here's the thing. If it was us, and it appears it was, we should just apologize. Correct the problem, because we don't want to become the thing we say we're fighting.
We have some major Iran news right now. The 7th United States service member has died as a result of the war in Iran during Operation Epic Fury in Saudi Arabia. According to U.S. Central Command, last night a service member passed away from injuries received during Iran's initial attacks across the Middle East. The service member was seriously wounded at the scene of the attack on troops in Saudi Arabia. According to Central Command, this is the 7th service member who has now passed away. At the same time, the United States and Israel are pledging to attack and kill essentially any new supreme leader elected by Iran. And Donald Trump this afternoon is calling the rising gas prices a mere, quote, glitch, as he spent the afternoon golfing in Florida, taking a break, according to The Guardian, from monitoring the updates on the war. I'll have more updates for you very soon. As always, spread the word and follow along, stay up to date on all the news you need to know about. More to come.
You don't hear about Serbia too much, do you? But lately it's showing up more and more. And there's a reason for that. Serbia isn't part of the EU and it's not part of NATO yet. And it's under constant pressure either way. Why? Well, because Serbia is one of the last sovereign nations in Europe that refuses to bow. They're not playing the West game, and they're not fully aligning with the East either. So President Vučić walks a tightrope engaging the EU for economic leverage while maintaining long-standing relationships with Russia and China. And that's a problem, not for Serbia, but for the globalist bloc that wants total alignment or total isolation. Russia and China don't care if Serbia trades with the West, but the EU, they've made it clear, you're either with us or you're against us. Sound familiar? Well, that leaves Serbia in the crosshairs, caught between prosperity, dangled by Brussels, and punishment for daring to remain independent. And it's not just about money either. It's about culture. It's about identity. It's about control. Massive protests have erupted in Serbia lately, led by students, workers, patriots, all standing against corruption and foreign influence. They see what's happening. They know global powers and foreign-funded NGOs are trying to reshape Serbia's values and alliances. LGBT ideology funded by US aid and pushed through Western-backed NGOs. It's not arriving organically, it's being engineered as a test of compliance. The message is clear: adopt our social values or stay out of the club. But Serbians are proud, they're rooted, and they remember what happens when foreign powers dictate terms. Their capital was bombed, Belgrade, by NATO without a UN mandate, without EU consensus, without any real accountability. Thousands of Serbs died, not in some distant battlefield, but in their own cities, in their own homes, on their own soil. And the world just watched. That's why they don't forget. That's why they don't comply. That's why they resist. The EU dangles membership like a carrot, but every EU nation has paid for it with their sovereignty, haven't they? So when Serbia resists, they face smear campaigns, economic leverage, and political isolation. And still, they stand firm. Serbia today is a battleground for the soul of Europe. It's where East meets West, and neither side has full control. It's where the people still believe in the right to decide their future without Brussels or Washington pulling the strings. But here's the danger. Serbia isn't surrounded by allies. It's surrounded by nations that used to be part of Yugoslavia, many of whom still hold deep grudges. Croatia, Bosnia, Kosovo, even tension with Hungary flares over minority rights. These are unfriendly neighbors. They're pressure points, just waiting to be pressured by the outside forces. And now, with war escalating in Ukraine, with NATO creeping east and the EU arming itself under the guise of security, Serbia becomes something even more valuable. A tripwire, another one, a pawn in someone else's game of escalation. But here's what makes Serbia different. They see it coming. They've been through it before. And they're not going to be used again. So, the question now is, will Serbia join the bloc of conservative nations like Hungary, Poland, and the others who want peace, sovereignty, and strength? Or will they be backed into a corner and forced to pick a side that was never theirs to begin with? You know, the West wants Serbia compliant, the East wants Serbia loyal, but Serbia wants to be free. And if there's ever been a time to respect that, to defend it, and to stand with it, that time is now. Because if world war breaks out in the region, Serbia won't just be in the blast zone, it'll be the line in the sand. And if we want to be on the right side of history, we better make damn sure it's standing shoulder to shoulder with those who value sovereignty more than submission. Serbia may not be in the EU, it may not be in NATO, but it's still, without question, one of the last free nations in Europe. And that makes it worth fighting for. And to the Serbian people, you are the nation. You are the nation. Not the flags, not the buildings, not the politicians in office. It's you, the families, the workers, the students, the elders who carry the soul of Serbia. And what you're doing right now, standing together, holding the line, refusing to be divided, diluted, or sold out, it's inspiring. In a Europe that's being hollowed out, where culture is being erased and history is rewritten, you remain rooted. There aren't many nations left like that, but Serbia is one of them. And if the people can hold the line, if they can stay united, and if one day the government starts reflecting the strength of the people, then Serbia won't just survive the era of global manipulation, it will lead. So to every Serb watching this, stand tall, stay sharp, and never forget, your nation's power has always come from the people. And now, the world is watching.
नौबत आए ये सबसे पहले उन्हें कैप्चर कर लेता है कि हाँ कुछ गड़बड़ हो रही है, अत्यधिक आधुनिक क्षमताओं से युक्त है, अमेरिका इसे बेचता नहीं है, अपनी सबसे बड़ी ताकत मानता है। मिडिल ईस्ट में ये उसकी सबसे बड़ी आंख थी। इसी से प्राप्त मैसेजेस थार को और पैट्रियट मिसाइल सिस्टम को दिए जाते थे। थार और पैट्रियट करते क्या है? आप तुरंत बात आप जब फैसला करेंगे जज साहब या कयामत के बाद कभी एक जस्टिस होगा, यदि बच्चा बन चुका होगा, यदि गज्जिया हो गई बच्चे, इसको इंसाफ मिलेगा क्या? अच्छा मेरा देश में ये जो आप सिस्टम लगा देख रहे हैं, ये जमीन पर रखा सिस्टम है। आप इसको कितना बड़ा समझ सकते हैं, ऐसे समझिए कि या ये एग्जॉस्ट लगे हुए हैं जमीन से ऊपर, और जमीन के मतलब कमरों को आप देख सकते हैं, मतलब लोगों के रहने लायक कमरे में कितने मंजिल का एक रडार बना रखा है अमेरिकियों ने कतर के अंदर अल उदैद एयरबेस पर। 28 तारीख को जब हमले शुरू हुए, उसके बाद में 1 तारीख के दिन ये वाला जो एयरबेस है, इस पर ये बना हुआ रडार सिस्टम है, जो कमरा से आपको दिख रहा है, इसके बारे में कहा जाता है कि ये अमेरिका की आंख है। अमेरिका ने पूरी दुनिया में लगभग 5 ऐसी आंख दुनिया भर में लगाई हुई है, अलग अलग जगह। इनका काम है कोई भी बैलिस्टिक मिसाइल चले, कोई भी प्रकार के हमले की नौबत आए, ये सबसे पहले उन्हें कैप्चर कर लेता है कि हाँ कुछ गड़बड़ हो रही है, अत्यधिक आधुनिक क्षमताओं से युक्त है, अमेरिका इसे बेचता नहीं है, अपनी सबसे बड़ी ताकत मानता है। मिडिल ईस्ट में ये उसकी सबसे बड़ी आंख थी। इसी से प्राप्त मैसेजेस थार को और पैट्रियट मिसाइल सिस्टम को दिए जाते थे। थार